There are people texting and tweeting in effect, excusing a potential genocide just because they have some form of angst against Muslims at the moment, which, you know, I more than you, people texting, stick my neck out and in the trenches fighting Islamist extremism and jihadist terrorism. I set an entire organisation up to do so, and it's been going for 10 years to do precisely that at great personal cost, may I remind you. And yet, these are the sorts of texts we're getting in. Anonymous, which is more than, it's cowardly, I suppose, not to put your name there, but the next chap has put his name. I'm going to read two. Anonymous says, where was the UN during genocide of Christians in Syria and Iraq and Coptic Christians in Egypt? So that's the whataboutery. And then the callousness. Muslims in Myanmar, the text continues, have been committing jihad, beheadings and rape, and the army are merely reacting to that. Right. So I imagine, Mr. Brave Anonymous Keyboard Warrior texter, that when you look at the situation in sheer numbers terms, when you've got 140,000 Rohingyas who've been forced to flee Myanmar altogether, with thousands killed, 125,000 Rohingya Muslims who've been displaced, all of these people are involved in so-called jihad and beheadings and rape, or are they ordinary civilians in the population who are being collectively punished because perhaps of the actions of a few militants among them? You know, that it's just absurd, these sorts of messages we're getting in that are obfuscating for, excusing war crimes that are potentially genocidal, just because you happen to have some angst with Muslims at the moment. Here's the next one. This chap actually put his name. I've got a good mind to read his phone number out so you can all give him a call, but I won't do, obviously, because I don't want to stoop to his level. This idiot, his name's Robert, and I very rarely call somebody an idiot, but you're going to hear what he said. He's a blooming idiot. He says, Muslims die and go to paradise, and that's nice. We don't want them here. You see, this is the kind of reaction, and what I worry about, folks, is in our angst, anger, and in our disappointment or frustration at whatever failings our own politicians are engaged in when it comes to challenging the various extremisms that are rising in our continent, Islamist extremism and other forms of extremism, that somehow we've developed this heartless approach to death just because we're angry at a certain segment of the population. You, Robert, sound exactly in your celebratory tone the way that the jihadists do when their followers and acolytes mow people down in our streets. They celebrate that death just as you are celebrating the death of Rohingya Muslims. Really, morally, what is the difference between you two, apart from the fact that jihadist got in the car and actually acted out, had the audacity to act out his fantasies, and you're a keyboard warrior who's typing out your fantasies and sending them to a national radio station?
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.